The officer arrived to that call. He wound up being shot. Another officer who arriving after him or about the same time as him was also shot. Third officer arriving on the scene shot as well.
Authorities say 46-year-old Brandon Poulos opened fire on police through an apartment window where he barricaded himself during an hours-long standoff. Residents ducking for cover.
I actually got on the floor and then I went in my bathtub. I went and sat in my bathtub. I'm like, yeah, this is probably the safest spot right now.
Those officers now recovering from non-life-threatening injuries.
David, it's still unclear whether the suspect shot himself or whether he was killed by police, but we do know he was a 10-year veteran of the Navy and he was arrested and released over the weekend. David?
Just days ago, Maria Villarreal tonight. Maria, thank you. Now to the new fires burning in California tonight. Red flag warnings up, wind gusts up to 80 miles an hour, fueling multiple fires, in fact. And the scare for a time along the 405 freeway right near the Getty Center Museum. Matt Gutman on the scene again tonight.
Tonight, Southern California is again a powder keg, howling Santa Ana winds and bone-dry conditions, fueling fires big and small.
You can see they're making retardant drops already.
West of L.A. in Ventura County, dirt, flying smoke, blasting firefighters working furiously, stopping forward progress of the Laguna fire, but not before a Cal State campus was forced to evacuate. And overnight, the Sepulveda fire breaking out along the 405 freeway near the Getty Center Museum, burning 40 acres before firefighters got a handle on it.
They managed to knock this down very, very quickly. It is not windy right now.
Meanwhile, just north of Los Angeles, firefighters still battling the now 15-square-mile Hughes fire. An all-out aerial assault through the night, precision drops saving the town of Castaic.
I mean, you can see the air asset right now, that helicopter dropping. Fire so close to the ground right behind you. I mean, it was barely 30 feet off the deck just now.
We have some of the best pilots in the world out here in LA County, LA City.
Thankfully, no homes were lost, but for families forced to flee, nerves are frayed tonight.
Sad when we were leaving, especially seeing what happened with Palisades and all that.
David, Southern California is such a tinderbox today that there have been 10 new fire starts today alone. And you can see firefighters still here at the Sepulveda fire. They're trying to spray down hot spots on the hillside over there. That's because those red flag warnings are set to persist into tomorrow morning with winds gusting locally at up to 80 miles per hour. David.
All right, Matt Gutman again tonight. Matt, thank you. Let's get right to meteorologist Lee Goldberg from our New York station, WABC, tracking the dangerous winds right into the night. And, of course, here in the east when this brutal cold finally breaks. So, Lee, take us through it all.
David, we'll begin with the fire forecast. We're not done with the critical fire danger just yet. The winds are relaxing a bit, but we still have some powerful, dangerous gusts and low humidity into tomorrow morning. The red flag warning will go until 10 in the morning. But big pattern change for the weekend. Onshore winds, higher humidity, even some moderate rain and mountain snow. The only concern, isolated downpours. If they hit the burn scars, we have to be concerned about mudslides. Turning to the cold, sound the retreat. The Arctic air is definitely easing. We still have one more cold morning in the southeast. You see the cold weather alerts, sub-zero wind chills in the Midwest. But temperatures take off over the weekend. 60s are back in Houston, 50s in Atlanta, and 40s here in the Northeast will go a long way to cure that cabin fever. David?
The 40s will feel like summer around here. Lee, thank you. We turn to the other news tonight and the alarming images from on board that passenger jet that took off from Boston, smoke suddenly filling the cockpit and the cabin. The pilots declaring a mayday. Here's Ariel Reshef.
Tonight, that urgent mid-air mayday as smoke fills the cockpit and cabin of a Cathay Pacific Airlines plane.
Mayday, 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 Cathay 811.
This passenger video taken just minutes after takeoff from Boston's Logan International Monday, showing reading lights shining through the thick haze as it quickly filled the packed Hong Kong-bound aircraft.
Initially, I thought, I was like, maybe it's just the altitude, air difference. And then I was like, I can't breathe.
The pilots forced to turn the Airbus A350 around in the air for nearly an hour.
Cathay 811 will need to dump fuel for return into Boston Airport.
Dumping fuel to lighten the plane, landing safely back in Boston. The airline saying none of the 302 people on board were hurt. David, Cathay Pacific says that its engineers are inspecting that plane. So far, the airline has not said what may have caused the smoke. The FAA says that it is looking into a possible mechanical issue. David?
All right, Ariel Reshef. Ariel, thank you. Tonight, a new settlement in a years-long opioid lawsuit. The Sackler family and their company, Purdue Pharma, agreeing to pay $7.4 billion to settle lawsuits involving its painkiller OxyContin. That's $1 billion more than an earlier deal. In addition, the Sacklers gave up their demand of immunity from future opioid lawsuits. 15 states, local governments, and individuals joined in this lawsuit, claiming the Sackler family and their company fueled addiction and overdose deaths. A judge still has to sign off on this new agreement. When we come back here tonight, in court right now, the suspect in the Idaho college murders, what his attorneys have now asked the judge. Also tonight, the Oscar nominations revealed, from Timothée Chalamet to Ariana Grande to Demi Moore. We have the news and what Buffalo Bills fans have done tonight for the Ravens tight end who dropped the ball. Even the Ravens thanking them tonight. Well, tonight, the high-stakes hearing underway for accused Idaho college murder suspect Brian Koberger, charged with the murders of 4 students. The defense asking the judge to throw out key DNA evidence, arguing it was gathered illegally by using genetic genealogy. The FBI taking DNA from a knife sheath and uploaded it to a public database. Prosecutors are arguing genetic genealogy is now being used in hundreds of cases. When we come back here, Buffalo Bills fans and what they're doing to support the player who dropped the ball, losing that big game. Also, the Oscar nominations revealed tonight, the first-time nominees, including Demi Moore at 62, and that summer blockbuster Inside Out 2 getting a nomination too. To the index tonight, Buffalo Bills fans helping out that Ravens player who dropped the ball. The Bills, of course, winning. Baltimore Ravens tight end Mark Andrews receiving backlash after dropping that game-tying pass in their playoffs loss. He says it gutted him. So Bills fans have now started a GoFundMe, raising roughly $110,000 for that Ravens player's charity, helping children with type 1 diabetes. Mark Andrews tonight saying there's still a lot of light in this world. A little America strong. When we come back here tonight, the Oscar nominations are in. A lot of history made. Timothée Chalamet, Ariana Grande, and finally, Demi Moore.
ABC World News Tonight with David Muir, sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for nearly 160 years.
Finally tonight here, the Oscar nominations are in. Tonight, the Oscar nominations are in.
For the times they are a-changing.
The 97th Academy Awards, 10 movies nominated for Best Picture. Amelia Perez leading with 13 nominations, including Best Picture and Best Actress for Carla Sofia Gascon, the first openly trans woman to be nominated in any acting category ever. And Zoe Saldana for Best Supporting Actress, facing off against Ariana Grande for Wicked.
Popular, you're gonna be popular.
Wicked earning 10 nominations in all, including Best Picture. Along with a Best Actress nomination for Cynthia Erivo.
You got it.
And Demi Moore earning her first ever Oscar nomination at 62 for Best Actress in The Substance.
Take care of yourself.
The movie about the search for youth and a better you, but at what cost?